Hi everybody, it's David here, back with a new video here at Bat Universe. In today's video, we're going to discuss why this is not this. And I don't necessarily mean that this is a bad representation of Batman, I'm just saying that this is not this. It's not a good representation of The Dark Knight Returns. But saying that the portrayal itself is bad, I don't think I'm in any position to do, because this version of the character has been getting so much recognition and so much love and positive feedback during the past few years, so I don't think I'm in any position to say so. So that's not what I'm doing here. I'm just saying that this and this is not the same, and that's what we're going to discuss in today's video. So I hope you enjoy this. If you do, make sure to leave a like, a comment down below, and a subscription for some extra love. We have hit 380 subscribers, which is incredible, and I'm really excited to see how far we go during 2022. Let's go! Okay, so the first thing we're going to discuss in today's video is why they're both being Batman. What's the difference between this Batman and that Batman? Why are they being Batman? The thing they both have in common is that they've both lost Robin. In the DCU, it's Dick Grayson, and in The Dark Knight Returns, it's Jason Todd. The difference between these portrayals, though, is that The Dark Knight Returns Batman quits being Batman for 10 years after the loss of Robin. During the criminal activity with the mutant gang rising, he can kind of get a relapse. In the DCEU, though, we never get to learn if Batman has retired for a while. It sure doesn't seem like it, since he's in all of the news and pretty well known as a myth. So I don't think that this Batman has been retired, so that's one difference. And before any of you ask, why do you bring up the obvious? We gotta bring more context to the table, guys. There's a lot to cover here, so we're just trying to bring up the first differences to kind of go through the outcome that I'm trying to reach here, and you'll hopefully understand what I'm trying to say really soon. Just okay. So there we have our first difference. Going a bit more into this, even though we all hoped for a Nightwing in the DCU, it brings a little bit more of a greater depth that the only son he has is lost. So it does make sense that Batman is, well, a bit more depressed than we see in the Dark Knight Returns comics. And this is kind of where the bigger differences kind of comes in, because in the Dark Knight Returns, Batman quits being Batman because losing Jason Todd, his son, is one of the biggest, if not the biggest mistake that's ever happened to him. But in Batman vs Superman or in the DCEU, this doesn't stop Batman. He gets more brutal in his ways. And this kind of gets into my next point I want to make, which is that the Dark Knight Returns Batman does not kill. This is a debate I think I've seen for at least 3 years now going on, which if he doesn't kill. The only one that is, reasonable and, actually quite surely a kill is the Joker in the end of the third part of The Dark Knight Returns. And this is for the persons who haven't actually read the comics, but the televisions in the comic book is a huge way to do the storytelling, and in those TV scenarios they tell all the time that no one has died yet, and they have huge debates, political debates, about Batman is a killer, and there's this lady, can't remember her name, here you have her name hopefully if they mention it in the comic, and she says Batman hasn't killed anyone, and even the Batman hater, or anti-Batman guy, says he maybe haven't killed anyone directly, but he makes these lunatics dress up like clowns, etc. I think the most debatable part is where Batman holds a machine gun and shoots this girl that holds a baby. You've probably seen the scene. If not, in the movie though, he shoots her in the hand, and in the comic you can't actually see where it hits. You can only see a little bit of a bang or a splatter in the background. So there is no actual proof of where he shoots her, but it's most likely somewhere that's not the hand. But it wouldn't make sense for it to be lethal, because the ending of the entire Dark Knight Returns, or not the entire, but part 3, the part with the Joker, it kind of goes more and more intense of that Batman is going to break his one rule, and they have this debate on the TV, as I just discussed, Batman hasn't killed anyone yet, and then he kills the Joker. So it kind of builds up the plot, and it's never mentioned that Batman has killed anyone before earlier in the comic. And as I already told you, the television is a huge way of telling this story, and after the death of Joker, they actually explain that the Joker has been found dead, supposedly by Batman. Why this also is questionable if it was him or not is because the Joker breaks his own neck in both the comic and in the movie. This could be hallucination by Batman, which is very likely actually. It's very likely that Batman is totally in denial of committing this kill, so he just sees the Joker killing himself. But it's also not very unlikely that the Joker does this because he's literally the craziest character in all of comic book history. Why I think this is important to bring up is because I'm tired of the excuse of saying the Batman in the DCU kills because that's what the Dark Knight Returns Batman does, because it's simply not true. There is no excuse for a Batman killing. There is no excuse in the Dark Knight trilogy, there is no excuse in Batman 1989, and there is no excuse here. It's just very hard to, well, not make it look like somebody dies in a comic book movie. Also, I just want to mention that the reason why they fight in Dark Knight Returns is a huge different to why they do it in Batman vs Superman, because in the Dark Knight Returns it's mostly because Superman is the, you know, the iconic face of America. He represents America more or less, and he follows orders blindly. And Batman has a secret agenda of faking his own death to create this little Batman cult. Where, in difference to Batman vs Superman, where they fight because Batman is, well, is scared of what Superman is capable of, and Superman does not like the way that Batman handles things. This is also, you know, worth mentioning because it kind of shows that the characters are very different from each other. And what I mean by that is that the Dark Knight Returns Batman and the DCU Batman is very unlike each other, so to say. There is, of course, similarities between the Dark Knight Returns Batman and the DCU Batman. In terms of look, style, and brutality, I would say they're very similar. Maybe not as much in brutality as in style and look, but it's still there. They have similarities, we can't deny that. You can see the inspiration of the Dark Knight Returns in the DCU, but it's not a good representation of what that character stood for, in my opinion, of course. What the Dark Knight Returns did, in my opinion, is kind of test this whole what would happen if Batman killed, and how much would it take for him to kill. It kind of tested Batman's limits a bit, so to say, and it set the tone alongside with Tim Burton's The Batman 1989 of what Batman is today. It destroyed this little friendship or bromance between Superman and Batman, which I also think is quite cool. And that was not really something that the DCU focused much on, really. Because when you build up this entire plot of what will make Batman cross the line, it gets to this heavily and quite deep part. But when it's just normal crooks dying right and left, it just feels like he doesn't care. And I know he doesn't care, that we know that, but we want him to care. And I think that was quite a missed opportunity to kind of make this whole The Dark Knight Return inspiration hit perfect. But either way, guys, this was a 9-minute long little video about why these two are not the same. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that I didn't say something to offend you in this video. I'm sure that I will get a lot of critique for this video, but, well, it's interesting to make videos like these ones, because then we can have conversations in the, you know, comment section, and we can solve everything together. I like that. Either way, thank you for watching this video. My name has been David Miranda. Don't forget to leave a like, a comment down below, and a subscription for some extra love. David out. Bye, guys.